Good morning, everybody. Dr. Philip-Neri here, performance psychologist. On this video, I'm going to cover the difference between traits and behavior. Many times in leadership, the problem is we combine them and then we're looking for an expected outcome for people we lead, but we're not understanding the difference. So let's start with what is a trait and what is a behavior. So a trait is something that's developed by the age of 16. That's what the latest research is showing. So by the age of 16, someone's traits are developed, whether they're visionary, strategic thinkers, whether they're social butterflies, whether they rely more on data and facts, whether they like to multitask or single task. This is all developed by the age of 16. So now when we look at behavior is the action that somebody exemplifies, right? That they take. So the trick in leadership is which one can be modified. Can a trait be modified or can behavior be modified? And what you have to realize, it's the latter. Only behavior can be modified. Someone's traits cannot be modified. That's how they're ingrained. Now, could there be somewhat of a growth indicator, where you're asking someone to grow on their trait, and maybe you can push that in one direction or another? So let's take someone's trait of being very visionary, strategic. They want to stuff 10 pounds of potatoes in a 1 pound bag every day. They're very autonomous. So now it's like, if that's natural to them, great. So now what happens is, let's say you want them to tame down because you feel like they're kind of rogues, they're rogue warriors. Well, what's the reality that they can tame down? What's the reality? Well, they could temporarily, but they're going to be miserable, right? They're going to be miserable because you're asking them to go against their DNA, the way that they're built. So now behavior could be, like, hey, I appreciate the fact that you're always thinking big, you have good strategies, things of that nature. What I need you to do is, instead of being a pistol, I need you to follow this format to bringing new suggestions, new ideas to the table. That's something that can be modified, right? Because that's the behavior. So it's not that you're asking them to tame down, get along well with others, be inside a box or anything like that. You're just reframing how they would let their visionary focus go, right? It's because you obviously don't want them to move that fast as a leader or whatever the case is. So one thing about leadership and creating the cohesive culture, having teams operate under pressure, is understanding what someone's natural traits are and what is behavior. And again, the recap is the behavior can be modified. The traits can only be slightly adjusted, and I mean very slightly adjusted. So if you want to chat more about your company, your team, get some ideas, some strategies, I have an assessment tool that I can assist you with. Drop a comment, reach out to me, Dr. Philip-Neri, performance psychologist. Hope you enjoyed this video.